All right. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you being here with us. Again, the agenda, we just went over the logistics, and then we're going to talk about the mission purpose of LCSA, introduction of staff, and then the programs and services that we provide here at LCSA and how to access those programs. And then at the very end, we are going to do the Q&A. And so this really is just an introduction to LCSA, the staff that work here and their respective programs. We will be sharing a brief description of each program, the criteria that it requires for them to members to participate in our program, and then also how to refer any of your members in need to it. All right. And of course, you can see our mission here, and I could read that for you, but I think we can all read for ourselves. But I do want to say, in partnership with unions, trades, and the allies, LCSA offers direct assistance programs, advocacy, and resources to workers and their families in Oregon and Southwest Washington. In solidarity, we work toward a future where every worker thrives, empowered by resilience, dignity, and shared prosperity. And then this is just who the team is, so you can put a title and a name to it. I'm Shamra, and I'm the executive director here. You're going to be hearing from Rodrigo, who is our operations lead, and Teal Dunbar, who is our labor liaison for dislocated workers. We have Jackie, who is our outreach coordinator. We have our program and event coordinator, Kate, online, as well as Jason, our program administrator. And then you'll be able to see their faces, and we'll introduce and pass it off and do all of that so that everybody gets to do that. And I'm going to turn it over to Rodrigo, who's going to share a little bit about our Helping Hands program.
Hey everyone, I'm Rodrigo. I am the operations lead here at LCSA. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about Helping Hands. That is our signature safety net program. We are labor's own nonprofit. So this program was set up to help any union member in Oregon or Southwest Washington. This Helping Hands program is open. So we do have a one-time assistance, and the maximum assistance we can provide is $400. However, if you do end up referring a member more than once, that's not to say they are turned away. We point them to other resources or maybe other agencies that could help them meet the needs that they're having at the moment. And we try our best to serve those in the community as much as we can. This program is available to help with housing, whether that's rent or mortgage. We help with utility bills as well, and it also covers some medical bills for members facing hard times. What the process for our program is, we do ask that every member is referred by the appointed referral agent over at their union. That is so we can make sure that the member is active, they're in good standing, and we are serving working families. The link that we provide is for referring agents, and we have moved all referrals to online. So we will provide that link to those who are designated referring agents, and they can use that to send it over to us electronically. There are documents that are required by the member. Those are just to serve as whether they need help with housing or utilities or medical bills, just the documentation to accompany that. And then we can provide the payment directly to the vendors. We do have currently a 7 to 10 day turnaround on assistance just due to the amount of referrals that we have been getting. But that is our Helping Hands program. And from there, I'm going to pass it off to my colleague Teal, and she is going to talk about transitional housing.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. We're really excited to have you here with us. We have a transitional housing partnership program through another nonprofit called Do Good Multnomah. And the facility that we have access to is on the east side of Portland, right off 205 and right next to public transit through the bus and MAX lines. The program's pretty amazing. It's cost-free to the member, to the union, and it provides temporary transitional housing for a member who is experiencing housing insecurity or houselessness. So As we all know, it just takes one or two destabilizing events before somebody loses their home, and they are probably still working and still doing everything they're supposed to do. So, what this program does is it provides members a way to get back on their feet. So, through Do Good Multnomah, the person, participant, gets a case manager who helps them with any documentation they may be lacking. That could be a barrier for their next housing. They provide connections to the Rent Well course, which is it takes a couple of months, but it's a course that people can go through that will get them ready to be able to secure housing on their own through their own means. The program provides a private room for a member who goes into it. So the member gets their own private bedroom with their own private bathroom. They get daily meals provided by Do Good. They get weekly housekeeping that comes in and cleans the room for them. There's laundry services where they can send out their clothes and they come back a couple of days later, good to go. Access to laptops and the internet. So there's just a myriad of resources available through our partnership program. The spots are incredibly limited. So when we do have a spot, we move pretty quickly to get a person that is referred by a union agent into the program. So it's very important for the unions to understand the criteria Do Good has around this program. A lot of times we get referrals that for people who don't qualify. So I did want to just kind of emphasize that right now. So currently, Do Good cannot accept children or partners. So somebody's got to enter the program by themselves. They also can't accept pets at this time. So those are some kind of big criteria that we want the referring agent to weed out ahead of time for us, so that they don't refer a member that then we have to say, I'm sorry, we can't put you in this program. If a room is available, LCSA will do the intake. You can just call us, you can email us. We will get information from the union and then we will contact the participant directly. We'll set up an intake time and date for them with Do Good, and then they go to the facility and Do Good handles the rest. So it's a pretty amazing partnership program. Again, it's completely cost-free, and Do Good has some of their own requirements once you enter the program. So they'll go over that with a participant the day they show up, sign off on the rules. A few of them are no visitors allowed on site. You've got to check in with their staff daily, just kind of a welfare check, make sure somebody's doing okay. No drugs and alcohol consumed on site. And when you show up, they call it the 3-bag policy. They can't have people moving in with all their furniture and belongings. So it really is a temporary transitional support system. So that's kind of everything about the program. And when we do have spots, we definitely fill them quickly. And when we don't, we have a wait list going. So we definitely are here to help support with members going through housing insecurity and houselessness. So on that note, I'm going to pass it back to Rodrigo, and we're going to move on to the ACANA program.
Thank you, Teal. The Apprentice Retention ACANA program, it is a program that we run in partnership with BOLI ODOT and ACANA. We use this program to help apprentices that are in the heavy highway trades, those being electricians, painters, laborers, cement masons, iron workers, and operating engineers. This program, we're able to provide assistance with housing, with utilities, and medical bills, but we also are able to help with vehicle repair, given if it's an approved repair and if it is the primary vehicle for the apprentice to get to and from work and finish their apprenticeship. So the process for this program is very similar to our Helping Hands. We do have an online referral link that is giving to the approved referring agents from the unions. Akana also sends their own referrals in to us. We do an intake with each apprentice. We collect statements and documentation from the apprentice for us to provide the assistance. There are some strict guidelines and qualifiers for this program. So we do have to make sure those are all met as well in order to provide assistance. And for our Akana Apprentice Retention Program, we do generally do the intake within 48 hours, excluding weekends. So from when they get referred over to us, we get on the case pretty quickly and see how we can help these apprentices and ultimately help them stay in their apprenticeship and hopefully journey out. Um, but that was a quick overview of our Akana program. I would like to pass it back to Teal. She's going to talk about what we can do during layoffs.
Thank you, Rodrigo. So LCSA holds the contract for being the labor liaison for workers in Multnomah and Washington County that are members of unions. We're also connected to the statewide labor liaison who handles the other counties. So we can definitely help no matter where the layoffs are happening. We can get you connected to the right person for support. But our organization, we have the contract to do dislocated worker services in Multnomah and Washington County. So what that means is basically in partnership with work systems, we show up and provide information and resources to members facing layoff, whether it's a reduction of the workforce or the whole shop is closing. We can help, and so we rely heavily on the partnership we have with our union siblings to make this happen. We also tailor our services based on the membership and the criteria around what's happening, maybe contractual things as well. So we really rely on the union to communicate with us, especially when effects bargaining is happening and once it ends, so we can kind of get involved and really tailor services for those members that are impacted. We also offer one-on-one support for unemployment insurance claims. So that is something that we do once the worker is in the layoff. And we can help, with a myriad of situations that can pop up with an unemployment claim. And that can be a claim in both the state of Oregon and a claim in the state of Washington. So we work with the statewide labor liaisons on both sides to help members navigate issues as they come up. The process, LCSA, we hear about layoffs through a myriad of ways. Sometimes we hear about them through the news. Sometimes we get the warn notice when it's a larger layoff. The unions, a lot of the unions are really great at giving us a heads up as soon as they hear about it coming. Sometimes the employer contacts us. So there's a lot of ways we get this information. And we investigate the details around the layoff. So like the timeline, numbers impacted, all those kind of things to best coordinate services for membership. And sometimes we even hear about layoffs after they've happened, which is super unfortunate that that can be a reality, but it is. Sometimes work sites just close, right? Sometimes the union doesn't even have a heads up. And so when that happens, we can move very quickly to coordinate services. When we hold these informational sessions called layoff transitional assistance sessions, we can do them at the work site. We push the employer to do it on the clock whenever possible. Obviously, that's going to foster a lot of participation. But we've also done them at the union halls. That's another great location. We can do them online through Zoom. Sometimes if the site has already closed and the workers are scattered around the state, the Zoom might be the best option. So again, we rely on the union to kind of let us know how best to access members and get them this information. And then the actual sessions, we bring in partners to present and take Q&A from members. And the main part of it, of course, that we talk about is unemployment insurance. So we have a rep come from Oregon Employment Department, answer all questions, go through how to qualify for unemployment, how to maintain eligibility, and really just try to remove barriers and stress that a worker going through a layoff has about how they're going to afford their bills, in this upcoming time. So we really try to make sure that if we need interpreters, we have those available. If we need documents in multiple languages, we have that available. If we need to do multiple sessions, we'll do multiple sessions. So whatever it takes to reach the workers, we will make it happen. We bring in partners from the Oregon Health Insurance Marketplace to talk about, again, specific to that group of workers, like when their healthcare coverage is ending and what that timeline looks like for getting their next thing set up, how to access free help, whether online or in person. We bring in partners from WorkSource to talk about not only the things they have to do to qualify for unemployment insurance that are directly through WorkSource, but then also all the additional training and certifications and funding for job searches that WorkSource can provide, usually completely cost-free to the member. And then we close out the sessions with another department of WorkSource that they called the Regional Business Services, but they're the employer-facing side. And once a member is ready, whether they want to stay in the same trade or same industry, or they want to do totally something different, once they know what they're kind of gearing towards and they've got their resume ready, they can connect with Regional Business Services and get connected to employers looking for workers directly, kind of get fast tracked in that way. And again, it's all cost free. So we take pride in helping workers navigate a really stressful time in life. And to that point, LCSA is available to these workers beyond the session. We do ask that ahead of sessions and with coordination and all that stuff, we're working directly with the union. But once at the end of the sessions, I will hand out my name, my number, my email, and let workers know that if problems do arise or more questions come up after the fact, they can totally reach out to me directly. So we do give them that direct connectivity after we've completed the sessions, because we want to be available when problems come up, especially if somebody isn't going to be in that union anymore and they're moving into a new industry. So we just try to be available. I think that's everything about layoff transition assistance. So with that, we're going to hand it off to Jason, who's going to talk about our apprentice retention program that we run through Work Systems.
All right, thank you, Teal. Yes, the Apprentice Retention Program, the WSI Apprentice Retention Program, is in partnership with Prosper Portland and Work Systems. It is available to starting apprentices within their first 2 years of apprenticeship, working in the ratepayer trade, such as laborer, operator, and engineer, carpenter, cement mason, electrician, plumber, trucker, and flagger. The requirements in order for an apprentice to be qualified for this program is that they must live in the city of Portland. Although we have some slots available for apprentices living outside of the city of Portland. This program provides housing assistance, utilities, medical, and other assistance, all depending on the hardships and needs of the apprenticeship. The target demographic is women and people of colors in the trades, but we do help all apprentices as long as, again, they meet the criteria of living in the city of Portland and are in the first 2 years of their apprenticeship. The process for the apprenticeship program is that they must be referred by a qualified referral agent using the link provided by the LCSA. They will also need to do an intake with us, asking for documentations needed in a statement, explaining their hardship and how their apprenticeship going, how their apprenticeship is going. And then we do follow up with them during the 6 months they're enrolled in the program to make sure that they're still going through the apprenticeship program. And if needed, we may be able to provide additional support in order to keep them retained into the program. Due to the amount of referrals that we do get, it does take about 7 to 10 business days in order for us to get that assistance out. But that is most of the process for that program. And with that, I will be passing it to my colleague Rodrigo, who will be talking about the Helping Hands program.
Thank you, Jason. So for this Helping Hands program, this is specifically a Helping Hands reimbursement program. These are Helping Hands programs that we set up with individual unions. They are able to kind of tailor how they want their hardship funds spent, what parameters to set, what qualifiers are set, and these are all done with MOUs with these unions. So these unions are able to say, we want our members served in this way. We want them to be served when X, Y, and Z happens, and we are able to accommodate and essentially be stewards of the funds for them. So what we can do is we have a program with AFSCME 328 and with SEIU 503, which my colleague Jason runs, and he'll talk a little bit about that program here in a bit. But for AFSCME 328, we do have a maximum assistance of $750. We are able to help them with housing, utilities, and medicals like our other programs. However, they also have a specific childcare program that we are able to assist their members with. This is also ran through our email process where the referring agents from their membership center or the union are able to send in referrals. We reach out to the members, and much like our other programs, there is documentation required in order for us to provide the assistance. Again, the assistance is always provided to the vendor directly, and AFSCME also has a designated hardship committee, and then they handle cases that go outside of the norm, and they are able to, I guess, process what the situation is and how they want to better serve their member on a case-by-case basis if need be. But that's just one of the ways that we are able to run our reimbursement programs based on their own parameters. But Jason's going to talk a little bit about SEIU 503.
Very similar to the ASME program, the SEIU 503 provides similar assistance with the maximum of $500 going towards housing or utilities, in some cases medical. The process is very similar. They must be referred to us by a qualified referral agent and then do an intake in which we will be asking for the documents in order to provide those services directly to the vendors. With that, I will be passing it to my colleague Kate, who will be talking about presence from partners.
Can you hear me good? Everyone good? We're in the same room, so I'm making sure. Hi, I'm Kate. I'm going to talk to you about our holiday and winter help program called Presents from Partners. You might have seen our many emails, our drop boxes around town collecting donated toys. This is a holiday program for any union member or apprentice. Again, referring agents from those organizations send us in basic information regarding the person who needs help over the holidays. Those people who are referred will be unemployed for more than 2 weeks out of the last 6 months, experiencing housing insecurity or another serious personal or health crisis. And this program is made possible by union donations, including funding, supplies, help, and it therefore changes a little bit year to year. But every year, each qualified household that is referred receives food, gifts for kids under 18, gift card for the family, and informational resources from the local labor community. So we have a packet that goes along with the food boxes and the toys. The toys come from our wonderful toy drive that you might have also seen flyers around town about that. The process for doing this, like I said, as Rodrigo and Jason mentioned, a designated referring agent from each union can fill out our form, and the way that they get that form and the link to these referring documents is by being on our union leadership or referring agent mailing lists for constant contact. So we send instructions and reminders to those every fall for presents from partners, and remind people of the deadline, which again does shift a little bit with the calendar because it relies on weekend volunteers. So definitely keep an eye out for that. We then reach out to the referred member and we offer them assistance. We make sure that we have correct contact info and that we have permission to deliver this care package to them. make sure that we can get into their gate and other things like that. And then we get guidance from them on what each child and their family would like to receive so that we can match what those children would want, and give them a good Christmas or holiday that they want to celebrate. And another thing to note is that we do this before most of the main holidays, including especially Christmas break, so that they have the ability to accept and use this gift, and the toys, the food, and the gift card in whatever way they want to make their holiday season better in a dignified and empowered way. So the next thing I'm going to do is throw it to Shamra, who's going to give some information about solidarity support that we do here.
If I can get it to go to the right slide, that would be great. It decided to go all the way back to the beginning. There we go. All right, so our Union Solidarity Support Services ensures that dislocated workers receive the critical assistance that they need during their time of job loss while they're on the strike line. And any union that is on strike, so we don't discriminate against unions or affiliations or whatever, we will serve you all. Some of the things that we offer, some of the services we offer, and probably the biggest one that we do is the food support. So we provide ongoing essential food staples like food boxes that have all the necessary things that they might need to just keep them going while they're during their labor disputes. We also can provide a healthcare session. We do guidance on healthcare options regarding Oregon Health Plan, Marketplace, Medicare, and COBRA. So we can kind of share a little bit about that with you and with them, during that time in case they're for members who are losing their coverage. That's not something we typically do unless we're asked to do that. And then we bring in somebody that is the expert in that. And so we tag team with them. As far as financial resources, we provide support in managing the income disruption during the labor disputes. So with that could be giving them additional resources of where they can go to get that financial assistance. And besides that, it's also on just providing guidance on how to manage their money, maybe in budget during this time frame, because they don't know how long they're going to be on strike for. So we can offer a short, 30-minute course, if you want to call it a course, but an informational session, much like this, where we can provide some financial information and what not to do and what to do during that time, because everybody gets in that panic mode. So we also have a membership survey that we could provide to those that are leading and trying to figure out what members are we going to assist first, because there's always, if you have a lot of members, you got to figure out, we got to make this last. So we need to see what their needs are and who might be most at risk. And you can find out through that survey that we could provide for you. As far as hardship aid, direct financial assistance is not available through us during the striking time due to the IRS rules and our 501c3 status, but we can assist with managing the union's hardship or strike funds. And then that way we can do the process part of it, but it can't come directly out of our everyday funds because people donated for the programs and services, not for strike support. That changes our status. So we try to stay very clear on that. If your union is actively preparing for a labor dispute, we really hope that you'll contact us, much like Till was talking about with dislocated workers services. We sometimes get contacted and sometimes we hear about things. And so we'll reach out, and that's kind of the ear to the ground that goes both ways. But we hope that if you ever have a potential strike, that you come to us, and you can call us, you can email, you can stop by. We've had it all happen in multiple ways. We will then get on a phone call or a Zoom, just like this meeting, with the union leadership or your strike committee, whoever it might be, and just talk about what we can and can't do and what kind of resources we can provide for you. And then again, we'll work with OHIM, Oregon Health Information Marketplace, so Oregon Insurance Marketplace Insurance Marketplace, for the healthcare side of things if needed. And then we coordinate the food boxes with one of our local community partners, Snowcap. And so we right now working with, I'll give you an example, ONA 5,000 people on strike. We've been doing about 50 food boxes a week for them to help them, and they're going pretty fast. And so that's just one way of us showing solidarity and being able to support the members. But if we can't financially support them, we try to provide resources that will actually help them to be able to do that. I am going to turn it over to Jackie real quick.
Thank you, Shamra.
Yeah.
It always surprises me when we have one of these info sessions just about how many resources we're able to provide in such a tiny agency. So I just want to give my staff a hand on that, because it's sometimes amazes me how we pull these things off. But I want to thank you all for being here and taking the time out to come hear what we have to share. We take a great deal of pride in the work that we perform at LCSA, and we're always striving for ways that we can support our union siblings in dignified ways who find themselves in a rough patch. Our ties run deep in our beloved labor community, and we wouldn't exist without all of you. We often visit unions and other partners to share updates and the good work that we do throughout the year, or to address specific needs on how we might be able to better support your members. We would love to come to your local for an in-person visit if that's something that you would like. We would like it very much. We love getting out there in the community and deepening our relationships. Just let us know if you want us to get you on the schedule. That wraps it up for as far as the presentation. So we're going to open it up for questions if anybody has any. Thank you.
Now's the time. If you want to come off of mute, you can come off of mute. You can ask your questions. We'll have the prospective staff member be able to answer those for you. If you don't think of something while we're on right now, it is absolutely fine. Please email us or fill out the form online at our website, whatever it might be. Give us a call even, and we'll be able to answer those questions for you. But we would love to open it up now for any questions you might have, or if you want us to clarify anything that we've talked about.
I do have one question.
Yes.
Janny here. I don't know which Hollywood Square you can see, but this is Janny with the Oregon Laborers Apprenticeship. So I know that a couple of times you mentioned that there is the one program that is specific to Portland Prosper. But every once in a while there might be openings for outside of Portland. And then there are other programs that could potentially help apprentices that are, out further from the Portland Metro. So my question then is, when I'm filling out the link for a referral, it asks you that question specifically: are they in the Portland Metro? Yes, no, or unsure. And then the next question, if it is not Portland specifically, gives you a medium length list of items to select from. And if they don't meet any of those specific criteria, you cannot complete the referral and submit it. So what would somebody do at that point if they have someone that needs help? They don't know exactly which program they would refer them to. Where do we go from here?
I think that's a very good point. We appreciate you, Janny, bringing that up to us so that we can either add a other box on there so we can check that, and then you can put the information inside the additional notes section. But I would say for now, definitely in the additional notes section, you can mark what you think is best. We always, when we talk to the member, we determine what program is best for them or where they would fit. Sometimes some people are referred to one program, they might not qualify for that program, so then we will put them in a different program. So yeah, we will. Rodrigo, do you have anything to add to that?
No, you answered what I was going to say. Yeah, we do the determination ourselves once we receive it. But that is definitely something that we can work on the form to add an other box with an explanation, so that way you can move past that step that you've been stuck on. But no, once we get the referral, when we do the intake, we try and see exactly what the best assistance would be for them. And then at that moment, we also, once we find out what their needs are, we put them into the prospective program that would help them out the best, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
And then I think you brought up a great point that I think sometimes is maybe in the past has not been made very clear. like being local or not local. You can be anywhere across the state, Washington. We've served some members that were in Idaho, in Montana. So if they are in your union and you are you have them as a union member, we do not care where they are from. If they were to qualify for the WSI, the Work System Prosper Portland funding, they would have to live in the city of Portland. But other than that, our Helping Hands program, wherever they might be, it does not matter where they live. So I thought I'd clear that up too, because I know we do get asked that sometimes. I think it was a myth before, and maybe it was happening before where we were kind of sticking to that Portland metropolitan area, but in all honesty, it doesn't matter where they live or where they work. If they're part of your union, they're part of your union. And if they're a need, they're a need. Yeah. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Oh, great.
I have a question. The previous question referred to a union, or not a union, a form that I haven't seen. The form I use for referrals has an other at the bottom of it, of the list. And I don't know, is that the form I'm supposed to be using, or is there another form that I don't know about?
Rodrigo, I'll let you answer because I know you get all of those referrals in and see them every day.
No, that one is specifically for the apprentice programs, Dave. However, when you refer your people over, you're using the correct form. And if they are an apprentice, then we funnel them to the right program for them. So no need to change your referring link or anything like that. Once we receive them, we make sure we get them to where they need to go to get the assistance.
Great. Since I've got you captured, I could probably refer a lot of apprentices to you guys, and I know your funds are limited like everybody else's. Should I not be concerned about that? Should I just be referring, especially the first term apprentices that are finding it really difficult? Because we have a day school program, so they're losing 1 week's pay for every 5 weeks that they're employed. Because of the day school program. They'll get paid for that. So I guess I need some guidance on how many people you'd like me to refer.
I can jump in here really quick. Hey, Dave, I think it would be good for us to take a call with you offline because with the programs that we have originally, one was for heavy highway apprentices, and it didn't originally include the plumbers, steam fitters, pipe fitters. And so we've been able to get this other program going that does include your apprentices. So let's have you connect with Rodrigo offline because yours is kind of a unique situation. And but we do want to figure out how to serve them at the highest capacity possible. So I think that would be better fielded offline.
Another related question is, and I don't know if Dominic wants to talk about this or not. He's on, but he's our coordinator. I've had talked to apprentices have a dickens of a time with unemployment. There was a program, I think it was set up so that apprentices could claim unemployment for that week, and it's just a nightmare for them. So would you act as a liaison? I guess that's my question for those people that are having those issues.
I can field that one. So when it's apprenticeship, when it's apprentices doing unemployment, that goes to Josh Hall, the statewide labor liaison. He kind of helps because he works directly with the Oregon Employment Department. So he would be the one to help with that because apprentices have totally different qualifications and rules around unemployment. So he does that already, and I would be happy to send you his contact info, Dave. But I know that kind of stuff is happening already with other apprenticeship programs and unions. And I know that some stuff has changed around that recently with UI and it's gotten pretty messy. And so Josh is very apprised of all that stuff. And he handles that for the apprenticeship side of that.
Apprenticeship competition.
Okay, thank you. Now, I guess we're talking about these programs, and I caught the answer to the first question. When I make a referral, that you guys decide how best to handle that referral, which program those people need to go into.
I'm so sorry, Dave. Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, when I make a referral, then you guys will determine what program they'll go into. I don't have to do anything additional.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
And if they need help with unemployment, you can put that in the referral as well, and we'll make sure it gets directed to the
Okay.
correct person to help them out.
Rodrigo, maybe we could set up a meeting with Dave, Dominic, maybe Marcy and Tori, if possible. And then I think Dominic has his hand raised.
Yep. I was going to grab him next.
Yeah, thank you for all of the help that you offer all of our members. We really appreciate that. I wanted to get that date, Josh Hall, you said it was, and I'm interested in getting that contact information as well, please.
I'm actively typing it in the chat right now, so everyone will have it.
Awesome. Thank
Perfect.
you,
Thank
Jill.
you so much. We had a meeting with the chair of unemployment, I guess, and they had discussed how it was getting better, but I really feel that it's not getting better as much as people are giving up. So we've had a really difficult time with this, and I appreciate any resources that we can provide the apprentices. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're happy to help. Any other questions?
I have one more, if please. Presence for Partners is a great deal. I mean, and I haven't gotten any feedback, but I haven't gotten anything negative about it. I think people are just happy to have it. But what I would like is an opportunity to get information or the forms earlier, because I have to scramble to get people that I can apply to refer to the program. And beginning in November would be great if that would be okay.
Yeah, we normally send out the stuff, and actually we sent it out in October this year. So it might be that we don't have you on the mailing list, but I believe you are on the mailing list. So you should have received that. We are looking at, we appreciate that feedback, because that does help us to know maybe we need to start things even earlier than what we did, so that we can give everybody ample enough time to gather the information and get it out to folks, because it is during a busy time when it's the holidays, Thanksgiving, and then other holidays that are being celebrated at the time. So yeah, that is something that we talked about, maybe pushing it even forward more, so that gives you all a little bit more time to gather the information that you need.
One more thing, if I may. When I first started Members Assistance, I had an opportunity to go to a resource navigator meeting, and it was actually a day-long session where I had an opportunity to learn about what other nonprofits were going through, the kinds of things that they had to do in order to qualify a person, questions they had to ask, and it was really helpful for me to get that kind of information. And I know you've put on other resource navigator sessions, but they've been short, haven't been as comprehensive. So I know you guys are busy, you got lots of things to do, but if you could, that would be a neat thing to have for us, like myself, to stay up to date and make sure that I'm correct in what I'm doing. But I appreciate LCSA, and I use you guys a lot, and I think I'm going to use you more, judging from what you have. And I don't want to drain all your resources, but because I know there's other unions, other people. So anyway, again, thank you for having this session.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure.
I'd like to respond to what Dave said also. We did do the resource navigating training pretty heavily, and we've kind of phased it out because the resources change so frequently. People are getting funding in, and they're moving it out so quickly. And it's been, so we don't actually give the trainings anymore. But I think it's something that we could talk more about in staff. And then about draining our funding, I always tell people, if you want us to serve more, talk to your membership. Um, help us continue to serve more members by continuing to keep the donations coming in. So we worry about our funding a lot too, but we also want people to know that they can get the word out, because we do our work based on what we have come in. And so we always put the word back out on to the unions. If you want us to serve more, continue to support us so we can continue to do that. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there.
Thanks, Jackie. Any other need to know, need some clarification or more questions? Should we each have a link? This was a question that just came in on the chat. Link to a referral form. If you are considered to be the referring agent, then yes, you should have the links. And that is something that we can provide to you. After this meeting, we plan on sending out this recording, this slide deck. We will also be sending out the links just as another reminder of here's what you should use if you're doing this referral. Here's what you should do for this type of situation. So we will be providing those links again. And then we just ask that you don't share the links with just members or anybody. It's for the referring agent. So if you're considered a referring agent or there's 4 or 5 of you in the office that are doing it, totally fine. We don't care if all of you have the referral links, as long as you're a specific referring agent. We have had people before get a hold of those links and then self-refer or refer their friends. And then that breaks the mold. It breaks the process that we have, and it creates actually more time that we have to spend on fixing things and working with the union on everything. And so we want to make sure that we're able to serve everybody and that the links aren't being taken advantage of. So I hope that that answers your question, Amanda. So if you have multiple people that need the link, it's always great for a couple of people on the executive leadership team to have it, as well as admin staff, because we all know admin staff do a lot of work and are in the know sometimes when other people aren't. If you just have a process, you can determine within your own training center or your union how you want to run things. If you want to designate 1 or 2 people to be the actual referring agent, then just let us know who that's going to be, and we'll make sure to add those folks, everybody, onto our mailing list so you can get all of that. So we're trying to keep always updated, and we know leadership changes, but so does staff change, referring agents change. So I think Kate just put in there, yeah, if you have designated referring agents, please let us know so we make sure that you are on our mailing list, because we will provide updates as we go throughout the year and we start working on statistics, and we might be changing how programs are ran, or might be changing programs or adding programs. And we would love to share that information with the people who are working with your members. Great. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's better when it's just one person, but it's a lot of work. So absolutely. If we don't have any other questions, we would love to give you some of your time back, but we just want to say once again, Jackie said, I thank you so much for joining us today. We are very appreciative to have this relationship. We truly view this as a partnership. Without you, we can't do the work that we're doing. Without us, you can't help your members. So it is a reciprocal partnership. We love working with you. We hope that this has been helpful to provide a little bit more insight into the programs and how they work. And then you also get to meet the staff who work with them, which is great as well. So you can put a name with the face, because sometimes you'll see emails or you'll hear about them. If you have questions that come up, we encourage you just to provide the basic information as well, the process and how it works to your members when you talk to them, so that the expectations are also clear. That's something that's very helpful. I know one of the unions that we had a lot of problems with, their members calling us or kind of not really following the process, trying to self-refer and do some things. Once we've got their referring agent just started kind of nailing it down, this is the process, this is what's going to happen, this is how it's going to work. Do not call them. They will, if it's been more than X amount of days, then you can call them and ask them where you are in the process. But it really kind of cleaned up, and now everything is running very smooth. So we know when there is a process and the members know what to expect. They don't know what to expect until they talk to us. And so if we haven't talked to them yet, because it is, they might reach out to you, you might refer them on a Friday. Well, we won't get to them until Monday, and we might not even get to them until Tuesday. We try within 48 hours to always call and start that intake session with them. However, if we're super busy, that's the part of doing a business. And so the more you can share with them, the better they'll feel, and a little bit more at ease about the whole process, and know that they will be getting assistance. But
I have a final comment as well. I just want to wrap it up too by saying the work we do makes unions stronger. We play the backdrop. We put the union forward. That's why another reason we want people to follow the process is because we want people turning to their union for help, not LCSA. We're just the support services that and we really want people to be looking towards their union for support. So
absolutely. That's a great point, because we want you to look good. I mean, that's what we're here to do, is to make the members know and to help them feel supported by their union. So it's the union. If you're the referring agent, you're the one who's doing this work, and we might be doing the process and doing that for them, but the credit we want to go to you for supporting your own members. And so that's why it's just vital to have, as Jackie said, to have a process and for us to follow it as much as we can. So if you have any questions as far as any type of, maybe it's an unknown, it comes up later, or it doesn't seem to really fit, like Jenny, you asking about like, where does this person go? You can reach out to us. We're not saying don't ever call or just only fill out the form. We are always here to help navigate how it works. And just because you attended this, if you're a new referring agent, you attended the session and you'll get the slides, doesn't mean that you're going to feel comfortable doing it once you start doing it. So please reach out to us if you need to. We are always here to help out as much as we can.
Well, I've got you in here. I've got you here. We rely on Safeway Albertsons gift cards, or I do rather, to get help to members. And they're going through, I don't know what it is, but their gift card program just went into the toilet. Is there anything else, any other type of gift card, food only gift card that you guys could recommend that we might take a look at?
We order our gift cards through Kroger, which is any of the Kroger brands, Food for Less, Fred Meyer. They're all over, so it kind of depends on where they're located. And if you order in a certain amount in bulk, then you get a discount. So I know that that's a way to save a little bit of money, but that's how we just get the Fred Meyer gift cards, because we know that they're in most of the area. And usually if they're in a long distance, like let's say Eastern Oregon, I know they don't have Fred Meyer over there. So we choose to get something different for them, but that's what we do. So I don't really know of, unless one of the staff can offer something different as far as knowing of any other food type of cards. I think that that's probably the only one that is out there besides what you're saying, Safeway and Albertsons, which if you're not pleased with it, then.
Yeah, my concern with Fred Meyer's is that there's other things they can purchase besides food. I suppose maybe it's have to have a little faith in what the people will do, but that's
well,
a
here's
concern.
how we look at it, Fred Meyer. You can get gas, you can get food, you can get the things that you need, and maybe you need underwear. We don't know, and we just, again, like you, we have faith that they're going to use it for what it's meant to be used for. And if they needed something else out of that, then that's what they use it for, So that is something that you have to, like, for us, we look at it as it could be a good thing because they can get gas if they need gas. And, for us, it's important that they stay working, right? Like, you can't make money if you're not working. And you're perpetuating the issue if you aren't having that income. So if it's a gas issue, then great, we'll help them with their gas. If they need, diapers for their baby, they need diapers for their baby. If they need clothing, socks and underwear for their kids so that they have them for school, then that's what they use it for. And we don't know. We don't know what they use it for. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's no other questions, then it's 2:59. We want to let you go on time. We appreciate, again, you joining us. We look forward to potentially doing some more of these, but maybe focusing in on other resources or focusing in on some of the external resources that we provide as well to your members so you know what we're throwing out there. If you have ideas of something that you want or you'd like to see us do, send us an email, let us know. We would love to discuss that further and see how we can incorporate it into the work that we do. But we appreciate you attending, and I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to stop recording, and you are